Hey guys, welcome back to the Wild Courage podcast. Today in the barn in Emmett, sitting down with my old buddy, Will Hudson. Thanks for coming over here and doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you before we hit the button, when did we meet? How long ago?
About 14 years ago, exactly. It was in April or May of 2011.
Yeah, Will was working at the ID Ranch in what town? Sinclair, Wyoming?
Out of Sinclair,
Out of
Rollins.
Sinclair. Yeah. And you were working for, at the time,
Ash
Corlett. So I'd known Ash from, I don't even know where before that. But anyway, he invited me over to a branding or something, I think is when we first met.
Yeah, you'd been there the fall or something before. I think.
Yeah, because they bought I want to say 100 head of replacement heifers that year before, and we had healed them all and branded them.
Oh, man.
It was so fun. But that was back in the days before you and I had made some life changes. So you and I hit a pretty fun stride when we first met.
Yeah, you might have just barely been on the start of your journey.
Yeah.
I remember I'd heard about this guy that was fun time and everything, and then you showed up and weren't partaking in the drinks.
Really? I was sober?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't when I went over to,
that's what I heard,
to do those.
I was all excited, like, oh yeah, I got somebody to party with. And then here's this guy, and we still ended up having fun. And
we did. But yeah, I forgot about that. I just remembered, I remember being tuned up over there for sure. But it was before I met you, before you went to work there.
Yeah.
Because I went over there. But yeah, that's where we kind of met.
Cuddling in the sagebrush in a little ditch.
Dude. Oh, yeah, I was sober because I went there with my buddy Sam Ingalls.
Yeah.
When I was working in the oil field. It was like when I first started in the oil field, and he was my boss, and he's like, hey, let's go to the ID and go branding. So I borrowed a horse and a rope, and I didn't have anything except for that straw hat that wanted to blow away the whole day, and did.
Yeah.
That I bought on the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a windy, miserable day.
Yeah. I think I landed the first turnover I ever had at a branding, and then that's how it all clicked.
Yeah, I remember we kind of paired up and roped together that whole day, but yeah. And that was a cool day because Jay Harney was there.
Yeah.
And that was when he was sick, and he'd go lay down in the truck for a while, and then he'd come back out and rope for a while. And yeah, that's one of the highlights that I remember about that branding was that Jay had made it up to it.
Yeah.
And he passed not too long after that, I think.
About a year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. But so you went to work there for Ash, and then how long were you there because Ash ended up kind of cool side note. He left there to go to Russia.
Right.
Because at the time there was a bunch of guys, they were paying big bucks for American cowboys to go to Russia to kind of line out their beef program and manage their ranches.
Yeah. I was there about 2.5 years, I think.
And then you applied for the manager job and got it. Is that how it went down?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I managed it for 10 years before I left.
Yeah. So we'd get to see each other, but not that often. Not even every year, I don't think.
No. If I came out to the Big Loop or something like that,
we'd see each other roping or something.
Hook up with you, but
yeah. So yeah, the what was that roping called that we used to go to? They don't have it anymore, which is a bummer because that was fun.
The Skills of the Rancho, or
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I was thinking the one in Ogden, the Buckaroo.
Oh, the Buckaroo Gathering. Yeah,
yeah, because I won that one year, and then the year after
years later,
that,
I won.
Yeah, you won it. Yeah, I forgot about the California trip. So, I was like, one of us called each other and was like, "Hey, we should go to California." At the time, it was in Santa Ynez, but it was the Skill of the Ranchero.
Early California Skills of the Rancho.
It was a long name. I still can't remember it. It still happened.
It was because of that turnover that I threw that day that you called me to want to rope with me.
Finally.
We haven't roped since.
Hey, that's changing.
It is.
Big news. Bucket list.
Yep.
Because we're jumping all over the place, but that's all right. Will called me 3 weeks ago. He's like, hey, you want to rope in Jordan Valley at the Big Loop? And I was like, my heart stopped for a minute. I'm like, because now you live in Jordan Valley, which is a super hard roping to get into, but now you're in the know. So I'm very excited to get to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking, it was not long after that, Brandon, because it was right when we first moved to Emmett. And I was like, hey, let's go to this roping in California together. And you're like, heck yeah. So we roped with Brad Randall, and you jumped in the truck with us. And Leighton was just like 4 or 5 years old. So he just turned 17.
2014.
Yeah.
Like February or early February.
So we piled in with my dad, and you had a puppy we had to drop off in like Sacramento or something. Yeah. So we picked you up in Jordan Valley. We had a truck full. So we had Mary, my dad, the car seat with Leighton, a puppy, and me and you. And we drove straight through.
Yeah.
That was a long day.
Yes. Very
like
long.
23 hours.
I can't remember I had to meet you guys at like 3 a.m. or something in Jordan Valley.
Yeah. You stayed at a buddy's house, and we picked you up and then dropped that puppy off. And then, in California, you can only go 55 on the freeway.
Yeah.
But anyway, we didn't do any good in the roping. But what else happened at that roping?
I happened to meet my bride.
Yeah, Cricket was there. And
through Mark Lundy. I was staying in a room with him. And
did he know her?
He had met her just a couple weeks before that at Elko and introduced us. And then we kind of hung out a little bit during the Dave Stamey concert. And
little dancing, little romancing?
A little bit, not much.
You must have pulled out your big moves because it worked.
I guess.
2 kids later.
Wore her down.
Wore her down, yeah. So that was a fun trip.
Yeah, it was. I was glad I wasn't driving home on the day we were coming back. I
think you slept the whole way.
I was in pretty rough shape. I had a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, and you were Twitter-pated.
Yeah.
Probably got Cricket's phone number. Is that how it went down?
And I waited till 2 or 3 days later when I was driving back to Rollins to call her on my way home.
Were you nervous?
Not really. She thought she'd never hear from me again, so.
You showed her.
Yeah.
Boy, did you.
Yep.
So so we've been on some adventures for sure together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were in Rollins forever, and then you took a job in Oregon, and then that's kind of when we started to get to see each other more, because you would drive all the way from the ranch you were on to Wild Courage Fires at my place. And how far was it, like one way? Like 3 hours?
3 hours, 172 miles or something like that.
Yeah. And you'd get home at like 1 a.m. Yeah. You win the award for the most furthest driving consistently, for sure.
It was totally worth it.
Yeah. So it's just been kind of cool how we met under those circumstances, and now like kind of getting to do some of the Wild Courage stuff together. You came to our retreat last spring. Fall. Yeah, that was cool. And now you live in Jordan Valley, which is like the closest we've ever lived towards each other. So that's gonna be fun. Especially, I always like it when my friends move closer and invite me to Brandon's.
Yeah, if you show up.
Don't even. I always find out about brandings after they're over, and they're like, well, I just assumed you're busy. I'm just letting everyone know right now, I'm never too busy for branding. So don't think that you shouldn't invite me. I will move things around and go to a branding.
Yeah.
I just got back today. Like, we got here about at the same time because I was in Oregon branding all day. It was super fun. It's that time of year, so it's spring. It's branding season. You had a branding last week, and I couldn't go, unfortunately, but there's more.
You were invited.
I was invited, yeah. So you grew up in Washington, right?
Goldendale.
Yeah, so I say this all the time, but this is what's fun is like, I know you from when I met you, but I don't know like the story before I met you, really. You know, we've talked a little bit, but where is that?
South Central Washington.
Like,
it's right off the Columbia River, about 10, 12 miles.
Is that like the farmland part of Washington?
It's just west of Tri-Cities area. It's a lot of deserty kind of dryland hay and dryland wheat country.
Yeah.
A lot of family ranches around there.
So did you grow up, what did your dad do?
He was the county noxious weed controller. So he was the weed guy for the whole county. And then my mom pretty much was a stay-at-home mom and had her own little seamstress business.
Oh, nice. And I know you have just one sister?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's my sister and I. She's younger.
Yeah. Did you used to thump her when you were younger?
Yeah, I left some handprints on her back and got in trouble. And she bit herself one time without her front teeth and blamed it on me. And my mom kind of figured the drill out after that.
That must be a younger sister thing, because we'd be in the back seat, my little sister, and she would like slap her own arm and then be like fake cry and be like, "He hit me." And I'm like, "What are you?" Then I'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I wonder where they learned that.
I don't know.
There must be a meeting when they're like 5 years old.
I guess. And they know which buttons to push too.
Oh,
I
man.
wish I could find those buttons and unplug them.
Yeah. So did you grow up with horses or anything?
Yeah, we always had horses. We actually live 1 block from Main Street in Goldendale, which is only maybe 3,000 people, but we had an acre or so there that we raised our horses, and we always helped around at family places around the area. And I think I started stacking hay when I was 13 or 14 for a couple different ranchers, and did that
kind of
all
got
through
your
the
end.
summers. And
Yeah. So did you like brand calves and stuff?
Yeah. One guy I worked for kind of taught me how to rope and breakaway and tie calves down a little bit. And,
Did you like do 4-H with your horses or anything?
oh yeah, the 4-H was a big thing. That was kind of my mom's deal. She started us early with the 4-H horses. And
Did you like 4-H livestock, like sheep or goats or
no,
steers?
just horses.
Just horses.
I did win a showmanship contest at our county fair, and then had to do a round robin, which you have to show one of each species. And I had enough friends that had each animal that they gave me a crash course in an afternoon, and then I ended up winning the round robin deal.
Were they pissed?
No, we all had fun.
Yeah. I only did 4-H one year because we moved around, and then we'd live in these, in the middle of nowhere places, and they didn't even have 4-H. But yeah, I just remember like getting my club calf, which was just like the ranch that my dad was working at. I think we got a calf. And then like the week before spring fair, my dad tied it to the tractor and drug it around. And it's like, I think it's good to go.
Halter broke.
Yeah. And then it drug me around the whole spring fair and crashed through everybody in the lineup. And yeah, it wasn't that fun. Then I was sad when I sold it, because I'd become friends with it.
Yeah, your buddy.
I could ride it around and stuff.
I actually, I did a lot of English riding too.
Oh, you did?
4-H.
For 4-H?
Mm-hmm. And jumping.
Really?
One year I made it to the state fair up in Puyallup, Washington, and ended up getting a silver medal in jumping.
Really?
On an old rope horse. Kicked all those thoroughbreds' asses.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It was a lot of fun. Had to wear the skinny,
breeches
tight
and
pants and the long black boots, and
the whole get up.
pretty hard to be a teenage boy and have to
Yeah.
handle all that.
Yeah. You probably caught some flack for that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's good. I mean, I have jumped a little bit, and you don't have the security of the saddles that we're used to riding. Like, it makes you a better rider for dang sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helped me out a lot because then in college I played polo all 4 years too.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So what was high school like? Were you like, did you play any sports or anything?
Yeah, I played football and basketball. Well, I played basketball since I was in 3rd grade. I was a defensive player, we'll say that much. Wasn't scared to foul out in the first half. But football I was good at. I was middle linebacker and had a lot of fun with that.
Were your teams ever any good?
No.
Yeah.
We
Mine
were
weren't either.
right in the middle of the pack usually.
So what was like coming out of high school, like you went to college, but did you have a plan of like what you wanted to be when you grew up or anything?
I always wanted to be a rancher or a ranch manager. since I can remember.
And that's what you went to school for. Where'd you go to college?
Eastern Oregon University in La Grande.
Is that where you met Mark?
No, when I got out of high school, I wanted to go be a cowboy, so I went to the White Horse Ranch out of Fields, Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
With a buddy of mine, and we worked for a horse lady for a week, and the end of that week we got to brand with the cowboy crew, and I probably never roped that good in my life. I still had rubber on my horn and everything, and they were pretty leery of me, but I roped really good. And so that Monday, I came and got up that morning. Well, the gal, because I had no big ranch experience and not enough really to help her start colts, and she fired me that Monday morning. So when I was in the bunkhouse packing my crap, the cow boss showed up, and he's like, "Hey, you want a job for me?" It's like, "Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I'd be getting kind of tired of packing my stuff right now." So yeah, so I got fired and hired from the same place in the same days.
I've never even heard of that.
Right.
Talented guy.
Yeah. And so
that was in between high school and college?
Yeah. Yep.
Like the summer in between?
Yep. I think I went to Maui right after I got out of high school from a trip my aunt took me on, and then got back from that on a Sunday, and that Monday or Tuesday I headed south. And
so you went from the horse training crew to the cowboy crew?
Yep.
And that suited you better?
Yeah, a little bit. We did quite a bit of cowboying, but that summer the ranch had bought 42 miles of hand lines over by Klamath Falls, so we ended up driving pickups for 2 weeks straight, bringing all that home, but still learned a lot.
Did you have to move the pipe too?
No, they were setting it up so it was in permanent sets.
Oh, nice.
So we'd come home with a load that night and then just lay them out in the field and
hook them up and then go get another one.
Right.
So did that summer was your first taste of like big outside stuff?
Yeah.
And you're like, I think I like this.
Yeah. I think the first day we all went out together was like 18 hours in the saddle. I didn't have any food, any water with me. I found a spring up in the very top of a draw, and I'd never been so happy to see water in my life.
Yeah, my Uncle Ricky tells stories of like, because they were too punchy to pack water. He's like, man, it gets so hot, you'd get off and suck on a rock just to get some saliva.
Yeah.
So was that just that summer then? Because you were going to college in the fall?
Yeah.
How'd you get into polo? Did you have any experience with it?
No.
Prior?
No, I'd met a guy when I went to, when was that? I went to like a fair before I graduated high school that the college had, and I ran into this guy randomly. I was wearing a cowboy hat and stuff, and he was talking to me and about horses and whatnot. And he said, well, I'm the captain of the polo club. Would you be interested in trying out for polo? And I was like, heck yeah, I know how to ride an English saddle. Let's do it. And that is a rush. I haven't done, other than maybe going down the fence, going full tilt and whacking the hell out of a baseball-sized piece of plastic is crashing. It's like hockey on horses.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I never like played in a game or anything, but when I worked for Grant Gallagher, he had just kind of come out of the polo world, but we still had some polo ponies that we were training. So we'd stick and ball, but we'd use like the red rubber balls that were bigger.
The cowboy polo balls or whatever they are.
Just because they were young thoroughbreds that we were riding, and we'd just go out in the meadows and whack that thing around. And I felt sorry because I'd often hit my horses with the mallet.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I could see where it would be a rush to do it because you're galloping wide open and so much skill in that game. Like, and you have to be a good rider and a good horseman to ride, because you're riding thoroughbreds, right?
Right.
Like, so did the school have their own team of horses for that?
Yeah, we were a club, so we kind of had to put our own stuff together, which I was kind of the ace in the hole on that because I could ride any piece of garbage that they had.
Like, try this one.
And get around them to play in a match, and then the way Polo works is you switch. You have your own, whoever hosts the game, they supply the horses for everybody. So each chucker, which is like a quarter,
You switch
you switch horses. And so we'd set it up to where I would ride the junk horses in between, and then when it come to the end of the game, I would get the good horses, and then the other team would have the
ones you rode the
right. We had one
air
called
out.
Dirty Rip, and she was something else. But
Did you ever come off in a game?
no, I did ride my horse to the ground several times when they were falling, but I never fell off.
How far would you travel to go play?
We'd played in Bozeman would be the furthest
That's a long
in our
way.
league, but when we actually made it to the national championships one year, and it was in University of Virginia, Charlottesville, I think.
Really?
And
So
we
you
drove the whole
You
way.
drove out there? Your whole team?
Yep. And that's kind of a funny story because we went out there in 2008, I think it was, and we actually hit a blizzard right outside of Rawlins and had to buy a hotel room in Rawlins. And there was trucks and horse trailers and everything blown off the road. And I'm like, who would want to live in this frickin' place that it's middle of April and there's a blizzard, you can't get anywhere? And 2 years later, my dumbass
moves there.
forgets that happened and moves
For a
right out there.
decade.
Yeah.
So that's that's a big deal. You got to go clear out there and
Yeah.
play in that. What's the vibe like in the polo world? Do you guys like party and stuff?
We did. Yeah. We were.
The
It was
rowdy
kind of
bunch?
interesting at that deal because there was the Ivy League schools had their teams there, like straight up. Cornell was a big team, and then Texas A&M was really good too. But Texas A&M and us, and can't remember the other team. Colorado State, I guess it was. We all partied in our hotel rooms, and we'd invite those other guys, but they really didn't want to have any part of us commoners.
Yeah. Well, polo's kind of an elite, like
Right.
kings play it, right? Like,
Yeah. And in college, we
wealthy.
played arena polo. So we were in an arena, and then you play with a little bigger ball, and it's a lot smaller. But during the summers, I
Play
got to go
outside.
play on the fields, and that's even more of a rush.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that you did all that. No wonder you're so sticky.
Yeah, not anymore.
So you were going to school for like ranch management or something?
Rangeland management.
Rangeland management. So the goal was still on track.
Right.
Did you go to all 4 years?
Yep.
Oh, you did. You graduate. You have a degree?
I do.
Dude.
And a couple minors in soil science and animal science. And when I graduated, it was Oregon State University has a satellite campus in La Grande. And so I actually graduated with an OSU degree and didn't ever have to go to Corvallis, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then even out of all of the Oregon State seniors that year, I was the outstanding range management senior. And so all three government agencies approached me about getting a job and
With the BLM.
or Forest Service or the NRCS, and I shot them all down to go work for $1,500 a month as a ranch hand.
With that big degree.
Yeah.
Are you still paying that degree off?
No, I came out, I had like $3,000 in debt was all.
Really? Did you have scholarships?
Yeah. I had a lot of scholarships,
Um.
and I worked to pay for most of it.
Oh, in the summers?
Yeah.
What'd you do in the summers?
2 years I worked for the Oregon State at their experiment station in Union, Oregon. And then one summer I went to work for the Forest Service out of Ely, Nevada, which I was supposed to be like a range rider. Oh, it was what we agreed on when I got down there, and all I did was spray weeds all summer.
Oh, geez.
I'd call my dad like once or twice a month and be like, how do you do this all the time, every day?
Yeah, because that's what he does.
But I got to see some really neat country down there.
Yeah. In Ely?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of cool down there. I've broke down there a couple times, so I've spent a little bit of time in Ely.
Yeah.
Because when you break down in Nevada on that stretch of road, like Ely's about it.
That's the straightest road I've ever been on.
Yeah, you can really fly, but yeah, it's nice. They got a good pizza joint and a couple motels and some mechanics. And also, I like it there because you can lay over there with your horses at the fairgrounds.
Yeah. I remember the Hotel Nevada had like $1.50 biscuits and gravy, 24 hours. And I ate those a lot after I'd broke myself in the casino.
Yeah, that's all
Where
you
I was
had
too
left.
drunk to walk back to the room or my house and needed to get something to get me going.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So when you got out of college, you were like, got all these job opportunities, but you're like, where do you feel like the cowboy bug like really bit you? Like you're like, this is what I really want to do.
Probably back in middle school when I started working for ranchers.
At
I
home.
kind of found a niche that was something that wasn't 4-H, but that I could do with horses. It was something that I could be my own deal to go learn how to do it and just be off on my own learning it.
So what was your first, was the ID your first cowboy job out of college?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
And did Ash hire you?
Yeah. I found the job on Ranch World ads.
Oh, yeah.
And left, I think it was 2 days after I graduated college. I drove out there to look at the place. And he was like, well, you haven't, like, you're way overqualified for this job. And
Yeah, you have all
why do
these
you want to,
degrees.
why do you want to work here? And I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to, I can go back to that if I have to, but I just want to go be a rancher.
Well, the ID is pretty cool. So I don't want to butcher the story, but the main house that you eventually lived in and the barn is like pretty historic, right?
Yeah. They
Why?
were both built in 1890. It's the guy that founded the homestead of the ranch was the first territorial judge, sheriff of Rawlins, mayor of Rawlins, and I can't remember what else. Anyhow, he'd kind of founded settled that whole area, and the ranch has never changed hands. Some other families had bought into it, but it's one of the oldest ranches in Wyoming that hasn't ever
switched.
Yep.
Complete ownership. But the barn in the house is made out of
limestone,
which is
quarried right on the ranch.
On the ranch. And it was built, that house and the barn was built in 1890?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of mice in there. The first time I went out there, I stayed in the barn in my bedroll. And they're like, there's some mice out there. And I'm like, I don't care. This was before I'd gotten sober. Dude, I've never experienced a night like that in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't sleep for 15 minutes because there's mice crawling over your face and trying to crawl in your bedroll. Like it was, but it's rock. They can't hurt the rock.
No, but they can damn sure climb up it and eat the rawhide off the hooks that are next to the rock.
Yeah. Did you ever lose any tack in there?
No, I didn't. After I took over as manager, I went to the
pound and got a bunch of cats.
Got a bunch of cats, and we never really had mice problems after that.
Yeah, that's just such a cool place.
Yeah.
I mean, the corrals, and which obviously were newer, but that house and that barn was like, when you roll up to a place like that, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. It's definitely a neat place.
Yeah, and I met some of the owners one of the times I was out there. They usually come over to the branding and stuff.
Yeah.
They were there when we did all those yearlings.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like my age, I think, probably some of them.
Probably, yeah.
Like some of the kids. But that's cool. I didn't know they'd been the same family that whole time.
Yeah.
What was your parents like with you, like getting out of college, and they were probably super proud of you, and then you're like, I'm going to go work for $1,200 a month cowboying?
They thought it was just a phase. And all of my friends and that, they thought, oh, when are you going to be done with this and go get a real job? This is a real job. So they were, and once they accepted it, I think it was pretty neat. And my parents, they'd come out That's the first fall I was there. They came out the first time and visited for a week and kind of saw that it was the real deal.
Yeah. And
But
how big was the crew when you worked there? That person?
there was Ash, another guy, and me. And then that fall, the other guy had kind of a falling out and he quit. He was the cowboy and I was just the peon basically. And so I got sent up to the mountain to live in a camp after he left and start learning all the country and did pretty much all the gathering by myself.
Were you
fall.
nervous?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's something that people don't understand a lot of times is like when you get jobs like that, it's like you just get turned loose because everybody else has got their own country they got to keep track of. And as a cowboy, like learning country is such a big part of your job.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't know where anything's at or fences or water or
roads, anything.
Yeah, it's a big learning curve.
Yeah.
I even still get nervous like when you're gathering a new piece of country. And I get it because when it's country that I know and new people are coming, you're like, well, it's easy. But when you're the new guy and people are just dropping you off and like, you just go that way and we'll meet up over, and you're like, is that in 12 miles or 2 miles? Or because cowboys are the worst communicators,
My favorite thing is to ride with somebody and they're like, yeah, it's just over there. Well,
and then
just over there is like 2 miles. Then just over there might be 500 yards or it might be 10 miles. You never know.
Yeah. And it's like, I just, remember being nervous as a kid, being turned loose. And it's like, we'll meet you, grab any cows you see and go over there. We'll meet you over by that dirt tank or whatever it is. And it's like, after 2 hours, you're like, surely I missed it. Like, even as a kid still, when that happens, it's like, oh, geez, I don't want to be the gunsel that,
Right.
But the communication's never like explained very well.
No. I remember a time I was at the White Horse on that first big day I was talking about. I was supposed to meet some guys in the bottom of this canyon. I sat down there for probably 2 hours, started hollering, started to get nervous that somebody had died and was going to hear the helicopter coming in to fly them
all the
out.
worst case scenarios.
Finally, I was like, well, I guess I'd just start riding out of here and head to the pickup. The worst part about that day is we were coming off of a mountain and the pickup was parked at the bottom of it and I could see it all day long.
Forever to
like
get there.
30 miles from it. And I'm just, oh my God.
I can't wait to get back to that truck.
Yeah. And then drive home for 3 hours to get back to the ranch.
Yeah, good times. So after your first summer there, was there ever like, I'm going to stay on through the winter? Or were you like thinking about it? Were you like, no, I love this place and I like being at this part of Wyoming?
After I got
dude, because that's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And then where I got moved was a cabin in the mountains.
For the summer?
For that fall. And I loved it. Loved every minute. I had
being
no
by yourself.
Phone service. Yep. I had a dog that I picked up at the pound, and she was worthless, but I had a friend. My horses were right there, and I'd finally made it. I was a cowboy,
Yeah, like sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm doing the thing.
Right.
I'm actually like settled into being a cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I loved it.
Like when people think of Wyoming, I think they often think of like just Western Wyoming. And you start getting, and you're like, why is there only 480,000 people in the state of Wyoming? Then the further east you drive past the mountains, you're like, there's nothing out here.
A little bit of wind.
And a lot of wind. Because how far is the ranch from Rollins?
35 miles.
And then how far was your camp from
Another
Rollins?
10 miles.
So 45. So you weren't going to town very often.
No.
Yeah. Were you just like jipping some cows, moving some cows around, or just keeping an eye on them?
Just keeping an eye on them, making sure they had bulls with them, just keeping them in.
So did you like the solitude of it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
So growing up, were you like a big people person?
Not really. I guess I started out, I was always if they had like a school play or something, I was the lead role in it and always involved in all the FFA and all of that, was the president and just kind of a natural born leader that I would get put into those roles or put myself into them.
Yeah, because I don't find you to be introverted, but you're not like super extroverted either. You're kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Have you always been that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So when you were in college, like you obviously got all your degrees, so you were a good student and all that.
I got my work done. I figured out how to manage fun time and
Go time.
go time. And then I worked for just a small rancher right there outside of town too. So I would party till like 10 when the party started to get big and there was too many people there for me. I would head home, get my 8 hours of sleep, get up at 6, go to work, go to school, to do the same thing the next night.
Do you think when Ash left to go to Russia, did you have to apply for that job?
Yeah.
And do you think that that was the first time that your degree helped you get that job?
Yeah, it did, because the other guy that was working there had worked at not a lot, but more places than I had.
So he had more experience as far as like working for different.
But he didn't have an actual applicable degree.
How much did that degree help you in that environment, like at the ID specifically?
A lot more than I thought it would.
Did it?
Yep. And I actually...
Like in what way?
I remember, or I realized how much I'd actually retained from college.
Just like in the range management?
Yeah. Being able to talk with the BLM guys and know their rules and regulations and that stuff.
So you got to at least tell your parents that, right? Like, hey, look, I got this job because of this.
Yeah.
Still cowboying.
Right. And I was 25, so it was...
Oh, that's pretty young.
Big. And we were in a horrible drought that year. It was one of the worst droughts they'd ever had around there, and I learned a lot of what not to do in a drought.
Did you keep all your cows that year? Were you able to?
Yeah, but the year right before Ash quit, we culled down the herd pretty hard. And
just old stuff?
Yeah.
Did you have to buy a lot of hay?
Yeah. A lot of hay, and we usually could range out there year round, and we kept everything in and fed it.
Which is amazing that, like, in Wyoming, there's places that you don't have to feed.
Right.
Like Paul Erickson, that place he worked at for a long time, they didn't feed.
Yeah.
In the winter either.
And I'd talked to neighbors and guys that had grown up around there, and they told me that, 1 in every 10 years you'll get spanked for it. And in 2020 was that year, we had 4 feet of snow all winter long. And I was trying to feed them and get them pulled closer to the ranch so we could get a decent feed ground, because it was on BLM checkerboard out there, so we couldn't just go start dumping hay anywhere in particular. And cows were dying right on the feed ground, and it was tough to watch and push through. And there was just 2 of us then, so we'd rode the tractor down to the cows 17 miles every day.
Dang.
With a load of hay, 2 tractors, and then drive them back home, daylight to dark, for 2 months straight.
Well, that's the thing about cowboying. Like, the romance wears off pretty quick at certain times of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's those spring days and those fall days, and then the rest of it's like, this isn't.
Oh, yeah. And
this
that
isn't
winter,
TV.
We'd get a blizzard once a week. Seemed like every Sunday or Monday, another blizzard would come in, and we'd lose all the progress on what we'd gained trying to get the cows closer. It'd blow them back down toward the river, and just
brutal.
Oh yeah, couldn't ever catch a break.
So we're jumping all over the place. So whatever. What was your like dating life like in high school and college? Like serious girlfriend, 1 or 2, or?
I had a girlfriend
Like all through high school or?
No, I got a girlfriend right before I graduated. Mostly so that I wasn't a virgin when I went to college.
That's a good reason.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. Yeah, it was
yeah, you didn't want to have to say that.
Right. yeah.
And then you're like, we're going to make this work long distance.
Yeah. And her and her family came down and visited me once when I was at the White Horse, and that was kind of the end of the deal.
Her parents were like,
they were good people, and she was just not what I needed anymore.
Yeah. Box checked.
Yep.
So what about college? Were you pretty like dialed into all the things? I mean, you're playing polo and working and going to school, and
I was a party animal.
You were? What was your party life like in high school?
I went to a few parties, but it wasn't
like
terrible. I didn't want to get it too far out of hand and get in trouble, which I did a couple times.
Were your parents pretty straight-laced as far as like curfew and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was pretty sneaky about when I'd do it. And
yeah. Did you like grow up going to church or anything?
Yeah. Yeah, we had to go to church, Lutheran church.
So you had kind of that foundation.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we had a pastor for a little while that was very negative, and
like you're going to hell.
Yeah, the church needs more money. You give us more money, or you're going to hell.
Yeah,
and just
that's fun.
Brimstone and fire, and just wear you out, And I was maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and just hated church because there's this guy up there yelling at my parents and
about money,
and I had no grasp of what it was about, but it put kind of just a sour taste in my.
So you just kind of went through the motions. Did you have to go like all through high school?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did confirmation classes and that with a different pastor, and it was actually a woman. And so that was kind of awkward.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was good to learn a lot of it, and I never really understood a lot of it until later in
life, yeah. But the partying wasn't like what was it like I didn't go to college, but I knew what it was like I didn't have a curfew anymore.
Right.
And it was forbidden for me growing up, like partying or drinking or anything, No one in my family drank. So it wasn't even like, you don't do this and then they're doing it, like nobody drank. And then I just remember like the first summer I moved to Wyoming, I was like, it was wide open.
Game on.
Yeah. And I didn't have like the guilt because then I quit going to church immediately too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, was college, what was college like for you in that regard? Like, did you still go to church or anything?
I did a few times to try and
appease your parents.
A girl.
Oh, a girl. Yeah. That's the two reasons.
Right.
That was going to be the next one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I think in high school I partied just to try and get acceptance because I was kind of known as the do-gooder and the kid that you didn't want around because he might tattle on you. And I never would, but I just had that reputation somehow.
Yeah, because you were like in the plays and 4-H and
I was
FFA
involved in everything. And
president of this and that. And yeah, so you get the stigma of like, oh, there's Will. You got to be careful what you say around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be accepted and
like, hey, I'm like you guys.
Right. I like to have fun too.
Yeah. So did that change in college?
No, I was cut loose, and then I had my own schedule and
wide open.
Yep. Everybody always talks about pacing yourself. Well, mine was a dead sprint.
Yeah.
All 4 years.
That word moderation, I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
No. Just
like
go
it's
till
not
you
even
can't go
lunchtime
anymore because you either puked or you tipped over and passed out.
Yeah. It's to get there.
Yep.
To get there. So through college, it was just like, you're still taking care of business though and all that, but college, that's a party school from what I've heard,
Yeah.
So then you go to the ranch and it's like, okay, we're wild cowboys and we do wild fun things and go to the bar when we can and this and that. But did you like, when you went to camp, did you have like beer or whiskey or anything in your camp?
Did for a little while I did, but then the second year when I was up there all summer, I didn't. I just ran a dry camp and I had a little spring that I would take a 12-pack of Pepsi or something and just dump it in the spring to keep it cold. And I'd pretty much stay sober all week. But when Saturday night came, I would head to town.
Yeah. Because you had Sundays off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time at the Cowboy bar in Laramie.
Well, yeah, because let's face it, Rollins.
It's all oil field. I think I only ever went to like the bar maybe a handful of times in Rollins.
But how far was it to Laramie?
100 miles.
And do you have friends there? Like you'd crash at their places or something?
No, one of the guys that worked for me, or with me, I should say, we'd go together. Stay at the Zenani and about a block from the bar.
Walking distance.
And
college girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You get the whatever itchy scratchies out of the beds, but it was only $80 a night.
Yeah, it's just right.
Yeah.
Well, there is that picture of you in the bar in Rollins.
Jeffrey City.
Oh, were you at a ranch rodeo or something?
Yeah, we'd gone to a team doctoring up in Thermopolis, Wyoming. Well, we were on our way up there, got stuck in a blizzard, and had to spend the night at a friend's house in Riverton. And as we were pulling down to his house, the guy driving, had to go down this little hill while the trailer tried to pass us and scrunched the pickup. And so we waited around Riverton to get it all set up for his insurance to get fixed. Then we headed back to towards Rollins, and I think it was New Year's Eve or a couple days after New Year's. I don't remember, but we decided at about 11 o'clock in the morning that the bar in Jeffrey City was open. Let's go help this guy drown his sorrows from wrecking his pickup, and ended up late that night riding my horse into a bar and ordering a beer and taking that off the bucket list.
I just saw the picture and I was like, yeah, that's so cool. I wish I would have done that. I did ride my horse there was a dude ranch next door to one of the places I worked at, and I rode my horse into the girls' dorm down the hallway. It's not quite the same as a bar, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when like nobody decides to quit drinking unless they feel like it's an issue, right? Did that happen before or after you got married, do you feel like?
Knowing there was an issue?
Yeah.
Oh, probably after I got married.
But leading up to that, were you like, did it become more habitual, like,
yeah,
like every day after work?
Well, before, I guess after I got the manager job and all of that pressure as a 25, 26-year-old, I started out where I wouldn't drink during the day on the job, and I'd get home and sit in my house by myself and
like I made it.
Drink a lot.
The dream.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm by myself.
Right. And I just couldn't handle the stress, so I'd crawl into a bottle and drink, and then it turned into having a bottle behind the back seat of the pickup. And
when you're out on the ranch,
start putting in my coffee in the mornings, and then that became a habit. And then I would always stash some beer somewhere or something to just ease the stress load.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were doing the morning thing too. I was telling somebody the other day, like when I was like really getting into drinking, like Mary and I were in Driggs and built that big indoor arena and all that. Well, it was with a house subdivision, right? And I had a big snowplow that we bought from a county somewhere, and it had like the sand spreader in the back, and it had the big drop down side, and I mean I could push some snow. But they started building houses in the subdivision, and part of my job was to keep the roads open. So I'd have to get up at like 4 a.m. to go plow the snow so people get out, go to work. And that's when I would drink a bottle of Kahlua every day in my coffee.
Wow.
Plowing snow. I would start first thing in the morning. And like, it was like, okay, by 8 o'clock at night, I'd have to go get my bottle of Kahlua for the next day. And that stuff's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But the same thing, just kind of like, okay, I gotta get my day going.
Yeah. Well, those 2012 Dodges have a little cubby underneath both the passenger or the back floorboards. And
Yep.
They fit a half-gallon of Black Velvet Reserve in them. Perfect.
Can hide it.
Yep.
Do you think your guys knew that worked with you, for you?
I don't think they knew it was every day because I was really good at
hiding it.
And then being the boss, I could send them over here
And you'd go
to go
there
do
by
whatever,
yourself.
and I would go over and go by myself.
Yeah. Now, did you think when you got married, like, okay, well, this is going to help change all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Like,
And
surely.
I'm dang sure when we were dating and that, I didn't slow down. I was like,
Did
he's going to know what I am. Like, I'm the party guy. I'm always the life of the party. I'm that guy wherever I go. And I don't think she saw past it, but she didn't see that as being an issue. She thought it would slow down too once we got married. And
Just, yeah, that's what same. I even told myself, like, because at one point Mary kind of gave me an ultimatum, like, we got engaged, and then she's like, I mean, I'm just like Crown Royal. Same thing, like, you know who I am, because I've been the party guy since we've been dating.
right.
And then as it got closer getting married, she's like, you're not gonna. And I'm like, what do you think? I'm some kind of maniac? Of course I'm not gonna drink like this once we get married.
Yeah.
It was the same thing when she got pregnant. I'm like, of course I'm not gonna drink like this once we have kids. Right.
Especially a son.
Yeah. Of course not.
Right.
Wrong. Did it early on in your marriage? Was it ever like, but wait, before you got married, did she ever say anything to you?
Not really that I remember. Just kind of maybe one night when I was completely obliterated, why do you drink so much? Why did you get drunk last night?
Because it was a Tuesday.
Made up some bullshit story that, I didn't mean to, or, tell her what I thought she needed to hear.
Yeah. And then after you got married, like, do you remember, was there ever a time where she ever was like, did it ever become an issue in your marriage?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you remember the
Several
first time
times.
where you were like, oh crap, this is like felt like a crossroads, or maybe even was there ever an ultimatum? Like, you need to get your crap together, dude.
Several.
Or I'm
Several.
out.
But nothing. She didn't follow through with it, so.
Thank God.
I just eased up for a little while and
hit it better.
And then slowly,
slowly reintroduced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do all the things. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to make dinner. And then I'm like, I love to like put some wine in the mushrooms, saute some mushrooms with the steak. So I would go to the grocery store and I'm like, I'm going to go get mushrooms for the steak. I would buy 2 bottles of wine. I would drink 1 whole bottle on the way home from the grocery store. It's a 12-minute drive. And then I would splash a little bit in and like, oh, I'm just having a glass of wine. Like, it isn't a big deal.
Right.
But I drank a whole bottle of wine on the way home from the grocery store.
I used to buy ruby red juice because when I was slowing down, I would drink a shit ton of juice. Well, I would buy 3 or 4 gallons of it, chug a half of one of the gallons at the grocery store, and buy a bunch of vodka, and then fill them up with vodka. So when I brought the groceries in the house, it was just juice.
Yeah.
And she didn't like ruby red, so I didn't have to worry about
it. And you can't smell vodka that much.
Right.
Yeah, vodka became my jam.
And I loved cash because I couldn't, there was no...
Yeah, there's
couldn't read it on the card statement.
Yep.
And I would always hide
it got
that
tricky.
way. Oh, yeah.
It got real tricky because it was like, I can't go to the liquor store So it's like you go to the grocery store and do the like buy whatever and then get $40 in cash.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you become like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how I can't believe how smart I became when it came time to start hiding it. It's like, I didn't know I was so creative.
Yeah.
So at one point she was like, this is more than just like, because it's not a weekend. It's not a branding. There isn't a celebration. But like, yeah, why are you drinking? Why are you drunk on a Wednesday?
Yeah. And she's very, very strong with her faith.
Yeah.
And I always believed in God and that you can't really be in. My belief was you couldn't be in ranching and deal with life or death all day and not believe there's a higher power. And when people would ask me if I was a Christian or how I felt about God, well, that's what I would always tell them. I had my own little spiel put together. And one night I can't remember what, I was drunk, of course, and then she started getting after me about, oh, I remember. I called some friends of ours Bible thumpers at a bar, and she was like, well, I'm one of those, and, why can't you be too? And so we sat down, and she gave me this little quick read book on Christianity, and I sat there at the kitchen table and about a half hour and read it all and just felt really convicted and eased up for maybe a day or two, and then it hit me again, and I just felt like crap, and then I got better at hiding it. Like, okay, I'm going to drink my coffee. I'll be sober-ish when I come home for lunch, and then I'll just keep that going through the rest of the day, and then when I get home, I'll drink a couple beers and then go outside and do something and take a pull off the bottle, and then, just way more crafty at hiding it. And then that was kind of the spark that really started making me think of why am I drinking so much? And it took me probably another 2 years before I followed through with actually quitting.
So for that whole time, it was like the undercover.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Was there any times where it really bit you in the ass?
Yeah.
Like where you got caught?
Yeah.
Like with the hiding the bottle or just got a little too drunk?
A little too drunk.
On a Wednesday at 2 p.m. or whatever?
Yep. She never, even till like probably last summer, she didn't know how bad I was hiding it from her, which I thought I had told her, but I was telling somebody a story, and on our drive home, she's like,
what?
I didn't know you were doing that. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, I thought I told you that. But yeah, anytime I had cash, I would, like in my head, calculate how much I could buy of this or this to get me through a week before I had to go back to the liquor store and do my weekly
restock.
Yeah. That was in the budget or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I've talked about this before, I think, but like when we lost that deal and, we got separated and moved back to Arizona, I went back to shoeing horses for a living and I was riding some outside horses too. But, dude, I would go to Circle K and we were separated. So now it was like, I didn't care, So I would buy a bottle of vodka and I would get one of those big gulps with Diet Dr. Pepper. And I'd only even fill it up halfway because I didn't care. And I would mix it up. But it was a science, dude. I knew, I could tell when I was like starting to, like it was good. Like I was worried my customers were going to find out or if I was going to slur or something or not be able to shoe horses. And so I'd back off a little bit and I would like eat a little something and then I'd start coming down and then I'd be like, okay, it's time. And I'd get my Diet Dr. Pepper and some ice and mix me another one. And I just got to where I could maintain being numb all day. And like my customers, I don't think ever knew. And I could function. I was shoeing good horses. It wasn't like I was going out and, knocking around a bunch of old ranch horses or anything and nobody was around. Like I was going to people's barns and houses and just all day. I'd do 6, 8 head a day, and I would just stay numb all day long.
The worst part of the morning would be when you wake up. For me, anyways, it'd be when I wake up.
Till you caught that first
Till
buzz.
I went to get in the ranch pickup and get my shot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how it affects our brains, right? And like, I would plan my whole day around it.
Oh yeah.
For the next day. Like cognitively, like, okay, back when I had to hide it more, before we got separated, I was like, okay, I need to do this and I can do that. And I can go hide here. I can have a reason to go to town for this. And it was like, got all my bases covered. Like I had to do that before I could go to sleep so that I knew like, okay, tomorrow's set.
Yep.
That's jacked up, dude.
Yes. And then there's the days you forget to do that and you get there and there's nothing there and you're like, oh shit,
It's panic.
Yeah. You need
like when you think that there's still some in that jug, at least enough to get you through till the afternoon, till you can find a reason to go to town, and you go there and it's empty.
Yeah.
And panic. Like I'm like, I would move heaven and earth to figure out a reason to go to town.
Right. Me too, because while being 35 miles, you don't want to just have to go to town for like a $2 part either.
No, you got to be creative.
Pretty out of whack. It's like, oh crap.
Dang. And was this well, obviously, like what narrative did you tell yourself? Like when you had your son?
I didn't want him to be that way. And then that pressure compounded into just me being going to be a terrible father.
Shame.
Yeah. And so I think he was just over a year old, and I decided I was going to give it up. And I did it for 3 months and was doing really good, lost like 20 pounds. And people started asking me like, are you feeling okay? You're getting kind of skinny. I mean, are you all right?
Did you get moody? Did Cricket ask you like, what's going on or anything?
No, because at the same time, or before that, I had told her I was going to quit chewing and I was going to do it for her.
Yeah.
And so then when I quit drinking,
you could blame it on that.
I started sneaking more Copenhagen. And then I got caught with that because it's not as easy to hide the little grains in your teeth and the smell. And so then I said, well, I can't just do this by myself. I got to have something. So she let it happen, but she wasn't happy about it. And then I went on a big trip for 10 days with the Young Cattlemen's Conference, it's called. And
this is after like the 3 months of sobriety.
A buddy drove me down to Denver, where the conference started. And on the way out of Rollins, I was like, well, I got to stop and have something to go on this big trip. So I started drinking, and for 10 days straight, it's just a big party. We learned a lot and toured a lot of stuff, but I fell off the wagon pretty hard then. And it was another acceptance thing, I think.
When you got back, how did you feel towards yourself?
Good. It's like I could do it.
Even after the 10-day bender?
Yeah. I thought, well, I know I can quit for 3 months. I can do it again.
Did you?
Eventually.
Like after that 10 days?
No.
You came home, then what?
I told her that I'd had a few beers while I was on the trip, and I think I had it under control, and it was all going to be fine.
So at that point, I mean, if you're having that conversation, there's been many conversations between you guys about like, I need to stop drinking.
Yeah. Well, and I would even say, talking to friends, or one time we were in a car coming back from a bar, and I was pretty tuned up, but it's still, enough I admitted to Cricket and my friends that I probably have a problem. And I remember her specifically saying, no, I don't think it's that bad. And And then the other two people that we were partying with, oh, you're fine. You don't have a problem, whatever, And so
So
it
you believed them?
validated it for me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't, but I do, but they don't care about me enough to
To
say,
be
yeah,
honest.
you do have a problem.
But also they probably didn't know as much as you were drinking.
No, nobody did.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I probably had that conversation with, well, even on that big trip, I told a bunch of those people that I had a problem and
nobody. See, that's interesting to me, right? Because when somebody tells you that, did you experience people like, no, well, you obviously did because you just said it. Like, no, you don't I don't think you have a problem.
right.
Because what do you expect people, you know what I mean? Like if somebody would have told me that back in the day, I would have been the same. Like, well, I don't want to lose you as a drinking buddy for one, because you're super fun. And two, like, I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
I don't know how to walk with you in trying to figure out your drinking problem.
Yeah.
Like nobody's equipped to do that.
Right.
But at the same time, you're like being super courageous and like, no, you're inside, you're screaming like, I'm in trouble here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought about it quite like that before. Because you were trying to test the waters, like,
right.
Right? Like,
and those people, I'd known them like 6-7 days, but that trip was so close that I still talk to a bunch of them, but I felt like they knew me enough that I could tell them that and see, because one guy that I'd had a good conversation with right before that, he looked at me and he goes, do you know that people follow you? Like, I find myself naturally wanting to just follow you wherever you go because you got this thing about you. And I was like, you don't want to follow me, dude. I'm fucked up.
That's a dark alley.
Yeah, I'm just a drunk. You don't want to follow me. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, and this guy's a big time guy in the beef
Big
industry.
deal, yeah.
And to have him tell me that and then tell me, no, you're fine. You don't have a problem and this, that, and the other. And boy, it really woke me up.
Because that's a tension, right? Of like, no, I'm capable of something so much greater, but at the same time, like, I don't know what to do with this.
Right. Well, and I'm scared, like, if people do want to follow me, well, I don't want them to follow me with where I'm going right now.
Also, there's a narrative of like, all these people know me this way.
Yeah.
Will I be accepted, the sober version of me? That was hard, dude, for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I going to be fun? Am I going to be that guy? Will people still follow me if I'm a leader? Because I know when I'm sober, I'm a lot different than when I'm not.
Right.
So that gets in your head, right? It's like a wrestling match.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a narrative that we're telling ourselves, like, you're not going to be fun. And then you think back to the times when you're not drinking, especially when you're in it, and you're like, yeah, I kind of suck.
Yeah.
So then you start believing that. Yeah, it's addiction. Yeah, it just sucks, man. So you get home from that trip and you're like trying to figure out like, okay, I did 3 months. And that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because then you've got a track record of like, I can turn this thing off whenever I want.
Right. And Taos was 6 months old then. So then I thought, well, he'll just never, he can't remember me right now if I do get drunk every now and again, but I'll just ease back into it, maybe a 6-pack a week, and then it turns into a 6-pack a night, and then a month or 2 later, I'm right back in it, bottle behind the seat, and then it was even worse because I knew I was conscious then of the way other people see me and how they're, I could lead them down the wrong path too, and that just made it even worse because I felt like I was letting everybody down.
That's when the war within probably, that's when it really, because at some point you're like, I'm only really hurting myself.
Yeah.
I'm letting my wife down. She doesn't even know how much I'm letting her down. But then it's like the weight of like, well, I'm a leader.
Yeah.
And then there's that tug of war inside.
Yeah. And it hit me one time. I was building a set of pins with a young kid, and I had a cooler on the back with a bunch of waters, and then underneath all the ice, I'd stash some of those sparkling water alcohol deals.
Oh, like hard seltzers.
Yeah, seltzers. And so I had him, I can't remember, he was measuring where we were going to put in posts and digging the holes and stuff. And I'd go over and grab a bottle of water, set it on the cooler, and grab one of those other deals, act like I was taking a leak next to the pickup.
Slam it.
Just hammer it down. And those things will tip you upside down. And I'd never really had them much, so I didn't know how to control them. And boy, they got me all jacked up. Well, we finished the lead up to the shoot that day. I got to looking down. Well, one post was 6 inches off of where the rest of them. So here's this freaking gap right at the chute that this panel can move back and forth 6 inches. And I just had a wood block and I hammered it in there and looked at the kid and I was like, it'll be fine. Let's go home. And he's like, are you okay? I'm fine.
Yeah. Trying to hide it because
Yeah.
you knew.
Yeah.
That's a bad feeling when you know you've had too much.
Oh yeah, I could hardly talk.
And you're like, I gotta get through this.
And then I still had to go home, and there was no way I was going to be sober enough when I got home to act normal. And that moment really resonates with me.
That one stands out. When you got home?
No, the moment
just with the kid.
That whole afternoon, and then I made him drive the skid steer 8 miles or something back to the ranch. That I didn't want him in the pickup with me because it was going to be too obvious. Yeah. And then a couple months after that, I think Cricket was pregnant with Wacy, and she'd went to the midwife down in Fort Collins. And that afternoon, I decided we were going to go to town. And the other guy that worked with me, and we went and ate lunch at the bar, stayed there till they cut me off. And then we went and we were going to another bar or something, and Cricket had pulled into Rollins to get groceries. And the other guy was driving because I got cut off. So she called me, and I was so drunk that I couldn't talk. And she started yelling at me through the phone, and I called her, I think it was 8 times or something. I tried calling her back, and she wouldn't answer. So then we get home at the same time, and that was it. That was the ultimatum, the real one. And I slept in the spare bedroom that night and woke up the next morning, and I poured out whatever whiskey was left in the jug I had behind the seat, took it all out of the house, and gave her up.
That was it. Then the cleanup begins.
Yeah. That week was very awkward because
with your pregnant wife.
With my pregnant wife and not having my crutch anymore. And I think the next day we were working cabs or something. And so I had this kind of a high stress day coming up next and needed to be able to focus on that. And my house is in shambles. My marriage is in shambles. And I'm trying to work all day and be present there. And I get there and I get home, and that week's still kind of a blur to me. I can't remember much of it because of
well, you're just in pain.
Mostly, yeah. And the fog of everything was wearing off.
Yeah, it takes a while to get back to clarity.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, For me, then the realization of the mess that I'd made sets in. Once you get to some clarity, and it's like, I've done more damage than I know. Did you were you thinking that at all at that point, like with your marriage? Like,
Not at that point, no. No, and I think like none of the neighbors really knew I was that bad because they would only see me at, parties in town or something like that.
when it's pretty, like,
Acceptable.
yeah.
But she was the one that saw most of it. And it was probably 3 or 4 months after I'd quit. And she realized, well, maybe he is going to do it. That she asked me one day, she's like, have you ever thought about why you had to drink so much?
That's the question.
And I was like,
as we know now, right?
No. And then that's where the journey started. And it's still right in the middle of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you, just because I know, kind of where you're at now, just because we live closer and because of Wild Courage stuff, like, because oftentimes, as you know, I have guys on that have kind of like, we never arrive at this thing, the journey we call it, right? But like, it's good to have guys that are still kind of in it, because there's still repair happening.
Right.
You're still in repair mode of like, and that journey of like, and it was the same for me. That light bulb moment of like, discovering why I anesthetized the way that I did, because it's just unprocessed, what we know now, right? And we have language for it, which helps.
Yeah.
And that's why I like some of the guys that I walk with in sobriety. It's like, I don't care if you drink, like, at the beginning. And it's so anti, like, I think what society thinks about drinking. It's like, no, I think if you figure out the why, the drinking just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen with some of the guys I've got to the opportunity to walk with in this journey, is like, and it's whatever it is, porn or any addiction. Copenhagen, whiskey, women, whatever it is, that, because we'll have different coping mechanisms. It's like, let's figure out the why, because that's what I did. I'm like, why do I show up this way in relationships or in social settings or in my marriage, like the things that really matter? Why do I show up this way? Yeah. And that's been a 12-year journey for me that I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But you get little nuggets along the way that's like, oh, that's why.
Right. And anytime I try, or if I'm having a hard day, or like I react a certain way to something, I'll try to be conscious enough to be like, well, why am I being that way right now? And then realize, well, yesterday was a bad day, or I got in an argument with Cricket last night and I'm still haven't resolved that, or, whatever it is.
You're just not sweeping under the rug.
Right.
It's like sitting in the emotion of like, why am I feeling this way right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to go drink over it. I'm going to actually look inside and be like, why do I feel this way? Oh, it's unresolved issues with my wife. Well, no, yeah, of course. We shouldn't feel good if we have those.
Right.
The easy analogy is the check engine light.
Yeah.
And forever, I literally, my first or second pickup, the check engine light would come on and I would put electrical tape over it. And it's the same thing we did with, drinking.
Yeah.
It's like God designed us in such a way that, like, no, there's something going on that you need to be curious about.
Yeah.
Of why I feel this way. And it's too easy to just pour something down it.
Right.
To avoid it. But as you and I know, it catches up. And the really crappy thing about it is it catches up only to, not the neighbors, the crew maybe a little bit, but it's the people closest to us that we hurt, right?
Yep. And I think what hurt her the most was when I told her I was done chewing, And then I did it because of her, because that's what I thought she wanted to hear. And so when I started back up on that, all the trust was gone because she was not good enough for me to quit. And I tried, it's not you, but I'd already made that wound, and it's still there to this day.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and I don't want to speak for Mary, but she still says drinking wasn't the problem. It was the trust. It was the lying.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about that. If our wives can't trust us, that bleeds into our finances. It bleeds into intimacy. It bleeds into anything that comes out of our mouths.
Yeah.
About what we're doing or where we've been. Like, if you don't trust someone, it's like, and this is the person that you live with and are supposed to be doing life with. And there's that barrier between us of trust. Our wives are amazing. Like, they can get over the things. They can get over the Copenhagen and the whiskey. And it's like, okay, I get it. You've got pain, unresolved pain somewhere. But that trust is like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's everything. And for men, we just want to throw logic on top of it. Like,
Fix it.
I haven't chewed Copenhagen in a year. I haven't drank in 5 years. And it's like, we don't even get the emotional toll that this is taken on them, because we just want it to be this logical equation, right?
Yeah.
Of like 2 + 2 = 4. You need to get on boat here. You need to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, it's so simple. Like, I don't do this anymore. Forgive me and let's move on. And it's like, no, that damage is so deeply rooted in around the trust thing.
Yeah. And then especially, I was about had it rebuilt. We'd finally got our own cows put together, and it's 4.5 years sober, and I was good. Got my new reputation. The guy that cleaned his act up was doing really good at the ranch. Everything had nice calves that I would sell every year, getting a reputation there. Was a member of the Wyoming Stock Growers Executive Committee, all these fancy things. And one day I get a phone call from this headhunter lady with some job agency. She called me 3 or 4 times, and finally I answered it. I'm like, yeah, hello, and talked to her. And she said, well, there's a job in Oregon, and it's a assistant manager, ranch foreman, something like that. And this one of the biggest ranches in the Western United States. I was just interested if you knew of somebody that might be interested in it, or yourself. I was like, hell, I might be interested in it. I've heard of that place. It's
a big deal. Yeah.
And so that ball started rolling on that. And I talked to Cricket about it, and I was like, hey, might as well just apply and see what happens.
Can't hurt.
Right. Well, everything kept snowballing, and everything kept coming together. Like, this deal's might be it. And, I get to be the manager that I've been trying to be my whole life.
On a big place.
Big place. 750,000 acres, 7,000 head of cows. And, and I get to be a leader. There'd be 15, 20 guys underneath me. And so I prayed about it, and it was the first time, because we'd ridden on Cricket's faith through our whole marriage. And here I am.
I like how you put that.
Trying it out.
Yeah.
And like, God's there. It's obvious. This is where you're supposed to be. And I talked to her a little bit about it, but I was so, like, I knew we were supposed to go that way, but I wasn't including her into any of my thoughts in that deal. Like, we're going to have all this money. I get to be the big manager guy, the big head honcho.
So Would it be fair to say that your pride was involved in making some of these choices?
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back, I didn't realize it probably until the last 6 months that it was that way.
And also, meanwhile, back in Rollins, cricket has community.
Just literally got
family,
good friends.
Or friends, I mean.
We had our own cow. We
put a little
bunch of cows together, and I sold the best year ever off the ranch. We had just a banner year. Like, everything was finally coming together. We were going to have our dream of having our own cows, and just our little family could go take care of them every day, every Sunday. And
she had friends.
Oh, yeah.
You guys were going to church there, so you had a church community.
Yeah. And she'd been searching for friends for 8 years, and finally got 2 really good friends put together and
plugged in.
Just loved it, she's really into midwifery, home birth stuff, and that's kind of her friends were into that. And she helped one of them have their first kid and got to experience that with them. And
yeah, I just wanted to jump back in the story.
I uprooted all of that because we ended up getting the job, and I gave her about 5 minutes to say yes or no, and she said no. Well, she said, I don't think so. I really like it here. And I said, but we can have all this money, in a few years we'll be able to afford our own deal, and pretty much made the decision by myself to move clear back to Eastern Oregon. And it's lost the trust again.
There's something happens when we run over our wives. When we say, like, no, we're in this together, let's do life together, let's have a family, and these are our dreams, and then when we don't get to let them into that process of making those big decisions, it's like it minimizes them so much when it's not like a choice that you're making together, and you feel like obviously you said it, you made the decision.
Yeah. Well, and we had the dream that we'd always talked about. We didn't have our own place yet, but we had our own cows. We were starting to build our dream, and I gave it all up because I was feeling God telling me that we needed to go, but I had no idea why, and I never asked why. I just, okay. The doors kept opening, and every time I'd talk to somebody from the other organization, and like I could just feel it, like felt good about it. And I couldn't make her believe me that I was feeling that, because she couldn't feel any of it. She was feeling
uprooted,
everything she had getting ripped away. And she's still struggling with her faith because God hasn't showed back up. He left her.
In Wyoming.
Yep.
So you moved to Oregon.
Moved to Oregon. Followed the snow plow trucks to I-80. And the worst winter they've had, even worse than the one in 2020. I left the poor guy there that took my job but didn't know any of the winter country, and he got kind of thrown into the fire too. But we followed a snowstorm all the way out here. And
you called me, I think, in Twin Falls.
Yeah.
You were spending the night, and you're like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it.
Yep.
So it's interesting to me is like to hear God's voice so clearly, we think, and you experienced. And at the same time, like, was there any part of you like, my wife's not with me in this? And we're like, did you sense that? Like, as you're packing up to move, like
a little bit,
like, oh, were you torn at all? Or were you just like
It's just like, why isn't she packing? Like, why? We're leaving in 2 days. We need to get this stuff
Why isn't
packed.
she excited about this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not realizing what she was losing in the whole deal.
Yeah. And then, and where you're moving, dude, like, cause
we're 60 miles from the nearest town.
Yeah, it's literally in the middle of nowhere. More so than Wyoming.
Yes.
Yeah. It's twice as far.
Yeah.
To the grocery store.
In Burns, Oregon, which is that's about all that's there is a grocery store and a big R.
Yeah. So, yeah, so you move. And then
everything was peaches and real cream.
Yeah, and then here we are, and
yeah,
we get to see each other more often, and everything's great. So you were there a year and a half?
Yeah.
And the writing was on the wall. It wasn't the spot for your family.
No. I could have done the job, but I would have sacrificed everything that I have to do it. And once I realized that, I was scared shitless because I had financial security there.
A
future.
Was like what you went to school for, what you dreamed of, like.
Yeah, what I've been wanting to do since I was 10 years old.
But at the cost of your wife.
My wife and family.
Your family.
And I damn near lost her once.
Mm.
That was tough. That was my wake up moment. But I traded alcohol for work. And I was working 12, 14-hour days, 6.5 days a week.
No quality of life, family.
No. And she had no community. She's there by herself.
2 kiddos.
Yep. And that was it. Luckily, we'd found a church there that was really good. And they're nice people. And it took them a little while to warm up to us because, we're just another people from that place. And once they realized we were
going to be there,
good people and, going to be there for a while, that they warmed up to us. And she was able to start putting some friends together. And then we move again. But this time it was for different reasons. And we both made that decision. And
so you made that the next time where you guys are at now, you guys, like you had a better understanding of what that move to Oregon cost you.
Yeah.
In your marriage and cost her.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about the time, obviously, when you started coming to Wild Courage. And
I think so. And I think the wake up moment for me was one of the first times I made it all the way out here for it. I was talking to you and Doc, and maybe, it was after the fire, but the reason that God showed me to move was for my marriage, is what you told me. And I got thinking about it, because for a year, I'd been trying to find out, like, why did he put me here? I'm miserable. My wife doesn't like it here. She wants to leave. She's trying to leave me, but she can't. And then I thought, in Wyoming, we never would have had the conversations that we've had since we moved to Oregon. Everything was just...
because it was rolling along.
Yeah. Everything was just fine. We needed to have some of these conversations 8 years ago in our marriage, but never did. And that is another can of worms that got opened, and on that journey too. Still working on it, but it's a lot easier to have a fight now in 10, 15 minutes and be over it than 10, 15 days of not dealing with it.
Yeah, and I think that when you guys together decided to leave that part of Oregon, and it was like a step down.
Yeah, took a little bit of a pay cut.
And a step down in what your goal was as far as your personal goal since you're a little boy.
Yep.
But what's the difference been like in your and Cricket's marriage since then?
We're a lot more open and we communicate a lot better.
And you're getting some tools to do that.
Yep. We're taking Seth's class right now.
Oh, you are?
Emotionally Whole Family. After doing the retreat last fall and just getting a tidbit of it, we decided to do that together.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And she's been talking to a gal for almost 2 years now, I think. Just trying to help give her some tools to deal with a lot of stuff that from before me, but mostly what I put her through with all the drinking and then the move and
the
everything.
Trust and
yeah,
because once you have kids, dude, it's like a whole different. You're anteed up different, right?
Yeah,
like it's not an easy.
Yeah,
I'm done. Which I don't know. I just think it's cool to see like God's hand in all of this, and it's like in such a way that we can't comprehend. Like I'm moving to Oregon for this goal and dream. And it's like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's like if you would have stayed in Wyoming, like you already just said, like your marriage would have been fine.
Yeah.
But the marriage that you're going to get to model to your two precious kids in this part of the journey is what has generational weight behind it.
Right.
Like this is how we change the planet. Is because you're going to get to model to them a different marriage than you would have if you would have stayed where everything was fine.
Yeah.
And put your little cow herd together and bought your own place and managed that place and had a nice retirement and all the things. Checked all those boxes. But like showing our kids like what true intimacy and sacrificial love looks like. It's like, what's a better gift that we could give our kids than that?
Right.
And I don't know, that's just the way my mind kind of thinks now at my age and still having young kids that our kids are playing together right now is like, man, who cares about the job title and the retirement and the like, yeah, it's important, but at what cost?
Yeah. And for me, having to rebuild my reputation and Cricket having to do the same, that's been a tough thing too. And trying to navigate that, like, why don't you? I'm a good guy. Why can't you just see that right off the bat? You know, and it's that's really opened my eyes to being who I am as a person and being conscious of trying to not just sometimes I'll just straight up tell people, but you know, just trying to set a better example.
Yeah, and you just like show up different. That's one of the byproducts of going on the journey, right?
Yeah.
Is like sitting in that. Why do I show up this way or that way? And where does shame fit into that? And where does like my true identity fit into this? And what does walking with God look like this and in the restoration part of your marriage that you're in? Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then showing up at a new job and it's like, I got to start all over and prove myself again. And especially the hit that probably takes in our pride when we feel like we are stepping down.
Oh, it about wrecked me. I was getting so down on myself that I was struggling to do the job. I'd been there 2-3 months and would get lined out for the day or whatever, and I'd get halfway through it and couldn't remember anything because of all the weight that was on me. And it took me a while to finally, I told the guy I'm working with, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me right now. I'm sorry, but something is screwed up in my head and I'm trying, but I'm lost right now and I don't need to do anything but just follow a cow around or something for a little while because I can't focus on anything. Because I got so much, I couldn't focus on what was going on at home. I couldn't focus on the job. The kids wanted to play when I got home and I was checking out. I would get on my phone and just disappear for a couple hours, and that's not good. And so once I realized that, that was actually like 2 days before the retreat. And so been working on that a lot lately.
Well, I know I know what we talk about at the fire's like sacred, but I don't think you'll mind me sharing this, but I remember at one of the more recent fires you said that you went home one afternoon and just like went and played in the dirt with your son. And like what I noticed when you said that is like the pure joy that came over you as you were sharing that. And it's I don't know why, but certain things really jump out to me as I listen to men and their stories, and like knowing what the kind of hours you were putting in on the dream job in Oregon as the guy that was going to be the guy, like that would have never happened.
No.
That would have never, that moment that you shared with us a couple fires ago or whenever, that probably would have never happened at the other place.
No, I couldn't even really, like I would try to take him. He wasn't even going to school, but I couldn't take him to go farm with me or anything because I didn't know when I was going to be able to get home or have to pack half a tractor's worth of food in there to keep him happy. And I was scared to take him with me because
yeah, you just
it
didn't
was
know.
Unpredictable.
Well, when you're working 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
So to me, like that was such a big thing when you shared that with us. That's like, and like, what an antidote to shame from all the other stuff is like, you know what? I'm still getting stuff wrong, like we all are, but like I got it right this day.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's it. Like you're in a smaller place, family place, like you have more family time.
Oh yeah. He goes with me when he's not in school.
Yeah, and he can go with you here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm just really proud of you for getting to here.
Thank you.
For the things that matter most, because that's what you're contending for.
Yeah.
And you're in the middle of it still.
Yeah. I'm still trying to pursue my wife's heart and overcome all the damage I've done, which there'll always be a scar there, but trying to be the Neosporin for that scar.
And you can be. That's the cool thing about humility.
Yeah.
Which is one of our core values, right? It's like, no, there's damage that's done, but redemption's possible. There's hope in it. And like we're learning, and I'm still learning, like, I don't know how to do this. So it's like the first time you watch somebody throw a Johnny Blocker or a Del Viento, you're like, I can go, I don't even know how to try to throw that on the dummy, right? So you ask someone, hey, how do you do that? Right? This is no different. Like you're getting help. You're like seeking help. Like, I want to repair my marriage. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better husband. The things that have like eternal weight, the things that really matter. And that's one of the things that also stands out to me in your journey of like, because we all have dreams and ambitions and they're good. I'm not saying they're not, but sometimes I think that we run over our families to get to them. And then at the end of our life, we're like, nobody wants to be around us, but
Right.
we achieved all this. Who cares if we have all the things and we've run over everyone to get to them? And so, especially because you have young kids, it's like, dude, what a gift that you get to go on this journey with your wife and to show your kiddos what it looks like.
Right. And that's like, I've always thrived off of leadership. And my wife has asked me, because I'm kind of the low man on the totem pole. Well, there's only 2 or 3 of us, but she keeps asking me, maybe you're supposed to be a leader of your family. Focus on that. And so
That's convicting.
I've sat back and thought about that a lot. And for some reason, it scares the shit out of me. leading men, it's easy for me.
The stakes aren't as high, dude.
Right. And so that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Well done.
They've always, at first I was like, I have been a leader. What are you talking about? We've done this and this and this. And then I think about it, and they followed. I was not leading them. They were just following me. And they were getting further and further behind me. And at one point she stopped and was going to take her own trail. So I've come back to that point to meet up with them, and we don't know where we're headed, but
you're doing it together, though.
We're going to lead together.
That's powerful. That's good. Like, maybe your job is to lead your family. That's the invitation for all of us.
Right.
And it's like that gosh damn pride, man. Of like, I'd rather be known by men than my family. And I agree with you, like, that's scarier because the stakes are higher.
Oh, yeah.
Because the things that I don't like about my 17-year-old son are the things that I see in him that remind myself of me. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
As also some kind of leader that I am, whatever that means, it's like, yeah, the thought of leading our family well, that's crippling.
Yeah.
To do it right.
I don't get scared of much in life, but and I'm struggling with that. Being scared because it's a foreign feeling.
Yeah, because you can't just bear down. It's not like that 18-hour day in the saddle. You're like, I can toughen up and get through this because we know how to do that. This is like being dropped off in a foreign country.
Yeah, it's the unknown. That's
what's scary. Fear is the unknown. You're exactly right. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But having the humility to like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I know for me, like, I joke sometimes, but the 3 most powerful words that I can tell my wife, I don't know. She loves it when I say that because my pride, I'll have to like try to formalize something that sounds like I know what I'm talking about with things that I don't know. And I'll never forget when she told me, she's like, why can't you just say you don't know something? It's like, it's okay. Like, can we figure it out together? But my pride, you know what I mean? Is
I bullshitted my way through
so much of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, humility's like, especially when it's with your wife, it's like, no, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Okay. Cool. Let's figure it out together. All right. That sounds good. But it's like, why do we hold ourselves accountable for things that we don't know? And then we got to be the poser and act like we do know, which then it makes us feel like we're frauds inside. And then we double down on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it's like these lies that get legs. And then it's like, I get it. I've done it my whole life. And it just feels good to be like, yeah, I don't know. And replace like that pride with like just curiosity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to contend for my wife's heart, but I'm going to go find someone that knows something about this. And I'm going to go figure it out. Because that peace inside when there's breakthrough with your wife after months, weeks, months, years of it not being good is like, you can't buy that. You can't make enough money to feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. You can buy all the things. And to have that peace in your marriage, even if it's brief before you go on to the next thing, is like, okay, we can get through this. It's the best.
Yeah. It just something like that just happened to me this last week. I didn't know why I was so tense and couldn't go to sleep, and something clicked in my head, and now I can go to sleep at bedtime or try to, and it's like, oh, that was so simple. Why couldn't I have seen that a couple months ago and not been pissed off for the last 2 weeks because I couldn't sleep and come home grumpy? And
But see, you get a pattern of doing that, of being curious around something.
yeah,
Again, back to both of our like light bulb moments. Like, why do I show up like this? Why am I feeling anxious? Why can't I sleep? And then like really sitting in it and like, oh, this is why. And I don't know. I like this thought of like, I've had people like, okay, wild courage, cool, I get it. Like, what's the goal here? And it really, to me, is peace, like in my soul. Because from that place of peace, if I can operate as a husband, a father, a football coach, a business owner, whatever capacity I lead, like wild courage stuff, like if I can do that from a place of peace, the results are different than if I'm insecure, pissed off, don't feel worthy, have a lot of shame, like all the opposite things of peace, anxiousness, self-doubt, fear. Like peace is like the goal, I think.
yeah,
And it's worth fighting for, which sounds contradictory. Like, I'm going to go fight for peace. That's what it is.
yeah,
It's like, I'm going to fight. I'm going to contend for it. Maybe I like that word contend for it better than fighting, but it's like, no, I'm going to contend for this thing called peace. And I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to get around some brothers, which is what this whole thing is. And I'm going to learn, because now that you know that one thing and now that you have peace, it's like, oh, I can sleep at night. Like there's fruit from it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you do have to fight for it in today's world. It's a freaking battle.
Well, yeah, it's so, everything's
Yeah,
so in our face. But that's the cool thing too, is like, as I tell guys all the time, it's like, well, I can't get help, like, because we do the counseling stuff and help guys get hooked up with that. And it's like, well, no, dude, you can get on Facebook. You can do counseling online. Like, if you can get on Marketplace, you can get some help.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad you're closer. I'm glad that our families are hanging out right now. And I'm glad that you make the effort to drive all the way over here to come to the fires, and you always have something to add. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that God, like, we met all those years ago for this.
yeah.
We thought it was about that thing, roping, whatever. And it still is. Can be. And
I remember when you did your interview with Justin, the first one, that's been,
gosh, 5 years ago, I think.
and you sent it to me, the podcast in a text, and I listened to it. I didn't sleep that night till I finished the deal and was just crying for you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sending you, I was like, I wish I lived closer so I could hug you right now because I love you. And I'm anteing up on that promise because I do love you.
I love you too, man. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And it's fun to get to be a part of your journey, of watching you grow and figure this out. And you and I have had a lot of deep conversations that we'll never have on here.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of you, and I hope you know that I'm just so for you and Cricket and your family. And I adore your wife. She's amazing. And I'm just grateful that we get to do some life together and be closer, and like, it's like switched. Like, yeah, we get a rope and have fun, and our kids get to play together, but to get to do this together is like the best.
Oh, one of my favorite things that you say is you're not afraid of the mess. And I never realized that. Neither am I. Like, I'm not scared to sit with people, listen to their story, and just let them be heard. And that's probably one of the biggest things I've taken away from Wild Courage and coming to the fires. And I've had numerous people that have called me because they know that.
Safe landing spot.
Yeah. And I look at people with understanding and compassion rather than judgment. And not many people do that anymore. And I always have. I can't think of maybe 5 people in my whole life that I've cast judgment on. And I really cherish our conversations and all the stuff we do here at Wild Courage, and any friends that call me or need to call me, just do it.
Yeah, because as we've learned, nobody's alone in this, and you don't have to be.
No.
Shame's a liar and a little bitch. And it's not true, because that thing that we're so scared of that if anybody find out, you just said the perfect example of it. Like, the first time I shared my story, dude, it was terrifying. And the compassion that you felt towards me is what heals me and has healed me. It's the opposite of what I thought. If anybody ever knew what I had done or what's happened to me, like, there's no way you could like me, right? And so I say that to piggyback onto what you're saying, to encourage people. Like, no, I get vulnerability and people get burned by it. But if you get healthy people that you can be vulnerable with, it can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be part of the healing journey of all of this, which is so powerful. And the one thing that I'm the most proud of Wild Courage is that's what we do.
Yeah.
We don't try to fix anyone. We just sit with them in it. And it is healing. And I'm a better husband and father and friend from listening to these men and their stories.
It honestly, the podcast, because I had nobody. I quit drinking cold turkey. I had nobody that really believed me for a couple of years, no support, didn't talk to anybody. And then your podcast started coming along, and that's what I used to keep going.
Well, that's the point of this. So,
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I did it pretty much by myself, and it was tough as shit. But
you did it.
If anybody needs it, just call me.
Your phone's going to blow up, dude. And Will's phone number is.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this and for being so open and vulnerable with me. And I know your heart is to encourage and give that guy that's struggling with some of the things that you've been through right now. Listen to this. Like, no, it's not easy, but it's possible. It's almost impossible to do it alone.
Yep.
So, love you, bro. Thank you so much.
Too. I'm glad I'm here for this moment right now.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thanks, guys. Adios.